I am so excited to review this book. I have so much to say, and it's going to be interesting to fit it all into a time frame that doesn't last the next few months. Let's do this! Here's a summary of Insurgent by Veronica Roth. It's a battle of the factions! Taking place immediately after Divergent, the previous book in the series, Tris Pryor, Tobias Eaton, or 4, and the rest of the Dauntless crew face grief, war, and total destruction of the life they once knew. While the factions scramble to pick sides, make demands, or answer to them, Tris finds herself in one of the biggest political messes that young adult fiction has ever seen. Tris must decide who to protect, who to trust, and who she'll die for, in the middle of all this chaos. Now, I get that this series is popular, so I'm going to be polite and give those who haven't read the book an extremely brief review. But after that extremely brief review, there will be many a spoiler. Amazing book, exceeded all expectations, I loved it, 2 thumbs up, I recommend it. See, that was brief, right? I imagine that the hardest things to do as an author of a series of books is 1, trying to surpass all the expectations that the reader established whilst reading the previous book, and 2, create a steady stream of character development for every character throughout the entire series. See, in the first book, we're introduced to the characters, who they are in the beginning and who they come to be by the end. Character development in general is tricky because getting a reader to buy it is really tough. Now imagine writing for multiple characters that grow and change through multiple books. I just feel like that would be really challenging. Well, you already know that my expectations were beyond exceeded. This book didn't plunge into cliches or make drastic pacing changes that make the reader feel like they just hopped off a roller coaster in the previous book and are now jumping onto a kiddie ride in this one. I just really loved this book. Tris and Tobias are amazing. Of course, Veronica Roth has given us several amazing characters, but Tris and Tobias really steal the show. Their relationship becomes strained at times, but it's not the focus of everything that's happening. And when we read about these fights they have, they feel important. Tobias and Tris aren't petty or jealous or shallow. Their arguments have substance and are actually good for the plot. Every exchange made me really think, not just about what's going on right now, but deeper things. Like, I don't know about you, but I kept thinking to myself, what would I do for my faction if I had one? How far would I go? How brave would I be? How selfish would I be? Where do I draw the line between those two things? It's one thing for a book to make you interested in the characters. It's another thing for a book to make you feel like a character. That is amazing. Because this didn't feel like something that someone wrote. It felt like it was happening, like you were in it. Like everything going on in this book is going on. Am I making any sense? I think it's a byproduct of great writing style. And as for the plot, everything happening demands your attention. There are no chapters, no paragraphs, no sentences you can skip, and you don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of books out there that just make you semi-care. I've read books where I just care about the characters and I don't really care for the plot. Or I don't care about the characters and I'm really interested in the writing style. This book makes you care completely. Veronica Roth is amazing and so very talented. Every character is so real, like Insurgent feels like it's a documented piece of history, not fiction. The distrust and shifting between factions was so fascinating to read about, since the politics of the story, as a dystopian novel, are unique. I've never read anything like this, so I'm interested to know where everything goes, where everything ends up. And the separation of factions depending on character traits like honesty and selflessness, as introduced in Divergent, aren't just pieces of the series' setting. They work awesomely as a foundation for characters. Like if a character is from Candor, we as readers already have a feel of their personality. This is really cool because it gives us a look not just into secondary characters, but ones who just happen to pass by Tris, or speak once and then are never seen again. Characters that don't even have names. Although it's on a basic level, we get a feel for everyone in this fictional world. And I think that's what makes the series feel so realistic. Why you feel like you're inside of the story rather than reading it. Basically, it's a taste of the fictional world that normally we as readers don't get the privilege of having. Now, I really want to discuss Tobias and Tris. I find it really interesting that characters in the book find Tris cruel and cold while I'm over here like, you poor baby, let me hug you. I can't decide if this is because we as readers get to see everything through Tris's eyes, so we know her differently, or maybe she's not actually cold and cruel, but characters see her as such because they're not used to normal people with normal feelings anymore. Because this is my theory. I don't think being divergent is really anything special. Like it is in this fictional world, but in this one, it just means you're normal. Like we're all divergent. In my opinion, I feel like divergent kids are the special minds that survived the cruel peeling apart of humanity. They don't follow one character trait. Their personality is colorful and varied. They feel more than a handful of emotions. And that's human, that's normal. I think that maybe people find her cruel and cold and terrible when really they're just not used to normal people anymore. That's just been stripped away from society. I mean, that's just how I see it. But it's hard to say because some readers don't like Tris either, and I think she's awesome. Now, Tobias is a great character. He really compliments Tris. And I'm not sure how, because to me, they're really similar. It just works. I found his strength in this book to be really inspiring. I mean, Tris was as well, but Tobias went through so much. We just didn't see it all. I was breaking down when he was watching Tris being tortured, and when he went to be with her, and when he demanded to see her, and when he thought she was dead. Oh, my heart. The emotional side of Tobias, to me, isn't out of character. It isn't unrealistic. It's just heartbreaking. Now I'm bringing this up because I actually want to know what you guys think about it. The main argument between Tris and Tobias, which was that Tris thought she was being brave and selfless and Tobias thought she was being reckless and selfish, had me sort of confused at times because I wasn't sure who to agree with. And again, it might be because we're seeing this through Tris's point of view and are inclined to side with her. It was just that I did think Tris was brave, really brave. Everything she did seemed selfless and her intentions, to me, made sense. But when Tobias put it the way he did, in a reckless and stupid light, I understood what he was saying. Not necessarily agreed, but I got it. Did anyone else feel this sort of confliction? I'm still not sure what I make of it all. Anyhow, spotlight on the secondary characters. They made for great catalysts in the plot. Their words and actions incited me with just as much interest as any of the other characters, and I was sad to see a lot of them die. I'm starting to think Veronica Roth and Suzanne Collins are BFFs. Oh, you love that character? That's nice. Time to blow them up. All in all, Insurgent was great. Beautifully written, exciting, and I am honestly so excited for the next book I could die. Don't get too excited, Veronica Roth. I didn't mean that literally. I know you like killing things. The cliffhanger at the end had me asking 1,000,003 questions, and I can't believe how long I have to wait until I get answers. What did you guys make of the ending? Of Evelyn? Of Caleb? I'm curious to know. And just a fangirling side note, I am very, very, very happy that Tobias and Tris's relationship survived this book. Thank you, Veronica Roth, for letting us have nice things. Except for most of the characters I fell in love with. That was kind of a letdown. You kind of killed them dead. But at least we got Tobias and Tris. I'm just gonna knock on wood. The characters I adore don't have a great track record of, living. Finnick, Teresa, Harry, Fred, Tonks and Lupin, Snape, Boggs. I'm just gonna go do that twice. And a third time. So subscribe, comment, thumbs up if you're Insurgent, thumbs down if you're a pansy cake.